Hi everyone. Hi everyone. I'm Vone Kavitz, knit and crochet designer for One of a Kind Makers Who Dare to Be Original. And I'm going to give you a couple seconds to come find me. I had to wait for a couple of seconds actually to find out what the heck is going on with this live, because I always feel like my beginnings get cut off because it tells me I'm live and it starts the countdown clock, but I don't know exactly when it starts. So that's why I like reintroduced myself twice, I wanted to check to see where where the live actually does start, because I keep getting my name cut off in the morning when I do this. But all right, so hopefully somebody will join me. I'm just going to start with an opening prayer. Lord, thank you for this amazing hour that we're going to have today. You have given me such a great way to express myself and to connect with these makers, and it's just been so invaluable to me and to my online friends here. So thank you, thank you, thank you for this wonderful opportunity. Amen. Hey Ellie, oh, so glad you're joining me. Ellie, we are meeting next Sunday, right? Next Sunday. So I'm so looking forward to our conversation on that. Did you start the bullet journal yet? Did you start reading your book? I know that you got it and you got the journal and everything. And I was wondering, when you said you went and got a bullet journal, did you actually get like through the company, like an actual journal? Because for my bullet journaling, I just have a dot notebook, like a dot book. I love this dot like method because it lets me like change things, and you know what I mean? I could do different templates and everything, but so I like the dot one better instead of aligned. I know my friend from work uses a lined notebook, but for me, I just feel visually more that I can play around with the dot, so that yes ma'am, listen to a habit book first. Oh, is that what you're doing first? The habit book. Oh my God, how awesome is that? It's so fascinating, and Ellie's talking about the power of habits, the what I went live about last week when I just finished that. It's still haunting me. It's still like, I think it's a tool that won't go away, and like that I'll be using for a long time, reminding myself of that and now that I'm aware of it, everything I do is based on habits. It's so funny how I can recall, like, I feel like, what was I was just doing something at work the other day where I just walked right past my cafeteria because I was heading into like the bathroom or something. Like, it was just like, where I was like, wait, I'm on break. I meant to go to the cafeteria. And it was because my body was habitually doing something else and it didn't catch up to my mind or something. It's nuts how we are creatures of habits. Listened all day yesterday while food prepping for a party. Nice. That's why. Oh, so you got the audio version of that one? You didn't go book on that one? Yeah. This is why I love Audible and why I love audiobooks, is because I am always doing it. I'm always listening to it while doing something else, and it allows me to do that. When it's a physical book, I have to set time. And so I wanted to and that is, I'm not always afforded that. So I couldn't think of a topic to talk about today. I mean, I had a lot of ideas for topics to talk about, but my model had mentioned, why don't you just don't do anything new, maybe just recap or something. And then I was speaking to Jennifer this morning on Instagram with Pear Dinkum, and I was telling her, I was like, have you heard of bullet journaling? Because Jennifer and I are like spirit sisters. We are so alike in so many ways, except she's in Australia and I'm in the US. But we always know, if you know my backstories, I was 1 week away from going to like living in Australia. Oh, bad boys. Oh, is that? That's how you're listening to that? That's awesome. You know, then Ellie, so if you're listening to the audiobook in the YouTube robot voice, then that and you still find that book fascinating, then you know that book is like it's a testament to how exciting that book is. Because if you can stay if you can stay on point, you know what I mean, and you can stay engaged in a robot voice reading your that's how my husband listens. He likes the robot voice too. He'll like play articles and he'll read articles that way and let the robot voice read the article for him. And he gets a lot done that way too. Um, but I was basically explaining to her what the bullet journal meant was doing for me after like 1 month into it, and it has really helped me with all the things going on in my head. I record my thoughts, my to-dos, my dreams and desires, and for the first time, I'm getting to know who I really am and living intentionally so that I can become the person that I want to be. I wrote all with a blank notebook. You don't have to get fancy ones. You can just get whatever notebook. I just have a dot matrix that I get, and I wrote all with a blank notebook. The bullet journal method just helps me keep it organized, and the daily rapid logging is what's helping me the most. And that's when I was like, I'm going to go talk about this on my live today. And that's how I got the idea to do this 1 month into bullet journaling. So I was like, and that's essentially what it's doing. So there are 3 people that are doing it with me. So, and Ellie will be my 4th. She's starting to sound like a real person. Oh, the robot voice. Oh, yours is a female. See, John's robot voice is a male voice. um, she. So I'm glad that I was able to get friends to do this with me, so that I can kind of track and see how they're doing it too. And like I told you, my friend was doing it with a lined paper, and she has like she's a designer, so she has a big busy work life where maintaining the customers and the projects and everything. So that's really helping her by like writing down all the things that she needs to do, the last thing that she worked on with them. Like she's able to stay connected and recap the last projects, and stay up to date on it. And then her personal life is kind of like on the back burner, but she didn't want the personal, like the habits that she's tracking and everything, to interfere. So she came up with a way to maybe start like at the beginning, like first half of the book is all about work, and then the second half of her journal, bullet journal, is about personal. So this way, when she's working on personal, or she's at work meetings, her personal stuff isn't like in front of everybody's eyes, because she gets like self-conscious of that, right? And but it's still in the same book, so beginning and end. So you could do it that way. That's the amazing thing about me sharing this. I probably have never, I've tried so many different planners and different planning systems, but I've never been, none of it ever really worked for me to like talk about it with you guys. And the only reason why you guys will keep hearing me talk about it is because it is helping me so much. It is helping me so much that I can't even tell you how miraculous it is. And because of that, I just want to share it, because if it's helping me, I wonder what it can do to the people that I share this with. You know what I mean? I wonder if it could help you. And that's why, like, so if you're tired of it, you can move on to another. If you have your own way of keeping your life managed, you know what I mean? And if that's working for you, then have at it. Keep doing what you're doing. But if you're looking for a way, I have found that doing this bullet journal has really helped me. And that's why I went to spend this hour. So now I'm 1 month into it. And so she does it in that way where she splits it, and that's helped her because that's kept the privacy aspect of it down. She's staying on track with the things that she wants to track. You know what I mean? She's staying on track with that. I'm tracking my 5 to Thrive. Remember, finishing the last 90 days with Rachel Hollis. So drink my water, get up an hour early to have personal time for myself, move my body for 30 minutes. Right, that's 3. And give up 1 category of food, and that's the cream and sugar. So I've given up my coffee and ice cream. And then the 5th one is gratitude, practice gratitude. I write down 5 things I'm grateful for every day on top of my 10 goals, my 10 life goals that I want. And I'm pursuing one more than most, which is my health. So that one, I'm working on that one first, because you can't pursue all 10 like you want to, you know what I mean? Imagine, I was just telling my mastermind today, imagine if you had 6 soccer balls on the field, and you have 6 kicks to do. If you kick one ball one time on each ball, it's only going to move one forward. But if you spend that 6 kicks on one ball, you're almost at the goal line. You know what I mean? So that's why you want to focus on the one goal. And so my health goal was my one goal that I'm focusing on, which works out well for my 5 to Thrive, which works out well for me ending the year strong because of all the goodies and the temptations that come with the end of the year holidays. So if I work hard on staying strong and pursuing my best self in that way, I figured that's going to help me with 2020 in January when I, you know what I mean, write my book and pursue my bigger dreams. And I'm in a wedding in April, so all the things that I have coming up in this upcoming year that I want to be my best self for. So with the bullet journaling, how it's helped me so much. So let me tell you, I came to a realization yesterday at work where more treats were put into the cafeteria or in the office. People keep bringing stuff and celebrating, and there's all kinds of stuff. And I remember like going, for how many years I've been there, I'm like, I've always had a weight issue, and I'm like, but I never buy this stuff. Like John and I have started clean eating. Like John has been eating clean for let's say 10 years, like he's, maybe 6 years, but a good portion of our marriage. And so we don't buy junk. Like we don't have junk in our house. Like we try not to, it's not a regular practice. We might occasionally treat ourselves or whatnot, but it's not a practice where we have it. So I'm like, where am I getting these extra calories from? And it's at work, because when it's at work, it's like people bring it and it's like a treat and it's free. And you're like, okay, we try, I treat myself and then I eat it. And I'm not even realizing how much, because I think it's like once in a while. But now that I'm doing this 5 to Thrive, it's every day. I'm battling this stuff every day where I'm like, no, I'm not going to have that. I'm not going to have that. You know what I mean? I don't eat that. And what I'm doing is in my journal, I'm writing down, cookies were brought today. I refuse. I'm happy. I'm proud of myself. Some days I'm like, it's hard, some days I really want it, but I'm not going to. It gets easier, but how many times am I tracking the fact that I'm turning down free treats at work and I'm battling with it? And I realize I'm like, it's an ongoing thing. No wonder why I never counted. I never even counted those. I never even counted those treats during, you know what I mean? Like all that time. The dogs are starting to bark. So I brought them, I haven't been letting them out because they're barking to go out. And now that they're out there, I think they're going to bark to come in. And I'm going to have to let them in. It's like I never win. I never win with these lives. But this is a part of my life, right? So, how bullet journaling has helped me for the past month. So how I'm using it is, we, like everything, the 4 steps, there's 4 collections that are main things. What it consists of, and this is how it keeps it organized, is the first 3 to 4 pages is your index, and then there's a future log, which is your 6 months or 12 months in advance. And I don't know if you can show it to you in screen, but the 6 month, oh, you can't see. So 6 months. So you can see, like, what is this? The future log starts in July, August, September, October, November, December. And then my next page is, we got January in 2020, and then the first 6 months. So that's your future log, right? So that's all the things that you can write in, because they're not coming up yet, they're from the future. Birthdays, appointments, anything that you deem important in those months that you want to get done. So you could enter them in there. That's the future log. And then you start your monthly log. And let me get the reflection. So monthly is, so this is, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is my month. And then these are my habits that I'm tracking, my 5 to Thrive habits. And then this page is the list of all the activities, all the tasks that I want to do this month. So they can be date related, they can be just goals that I want to pursue in this month. And these are here because I want to do them. These are important to me. These are the goals that I'm pursuing this month. So that's the task. And then starts your rate. So those are the 3 categories: your index, your future log, your monthly log, which is that page, and then the rest is your daily log, right? Your daily log. And some of my days, this is why I love this method. You know, you don't have to buy a book. You can just get any notebook, any dollar store notebook, any cheap stuff you can get, and start. And then I log in my daily stuff. There's 3 symbols, a dot for your task, and for all the tasks that I think of that I want to do, I just write them all down. This is where the magic is happening for me in these daily rapid daily logging is you can find all this in the bullet journal page on YouTube and even on their website, bulletjournal.com. They'll tell you how to get started and what to do, you know. Remember, all this is just with a regular notebook, which is why I love doing this, is because you don't have to buy anything for this. But so what I'm doing is everything that I'm thinking of, I'm just jotting it down. It's a task. It's something I want to do. I just write it down. I'm not processing it. I'm not vetting it. I'm not like deciding whether I want it. If it comes in my head, I just wrote it down. And if it's a task, I use a dot. If it's an idea that I have, like a statement, you know, a fact that I want to record, like a quote or something, you know, something that I want to remember, I use a dash, right? And then a circle is for events. So if you have like I went to a funeral and or I went to a girls' night out or I had knitting night, and then I jot down like the highlights of the knitting night. If there's an event coming up, I'll use a circle and know that an event's coming up. Or because events work in 2 ways. You can log an event that's coming up, you know, like a wedding that you're going to, or log or like a fair that you're going to do, something like that, or an event as in what happened after, and you reflect on it, you know what I mean? Like, so went to dinner, you know what I mean? Discussed this, ate this, dessert was delicious, you know what I mean? Something, anything you want to catalog it, whatever's important to you. And that's what makes this so amazing of a system. So by doing those 3 things, you know, the task, the events, and the dash, like the info, the notes, note taking, I basically am emptying out my brain 24/7. I keep this, and that's another thing, you want to keep this in a portable way where it's big enough that you can engage in it, but small enough that you take it everywhere you go, right? You don't want one of those big things, because I'm not going to always carry like an 8x11, whatever the notebook, 9x11 or whatever, those big notebooks. But this is a perfect size. These A5s is 5x8. Oh, I'm getting a migraine. It's starting. It's weird. So what's happening is I am constantly, whatever thought I have, I'm constantly writing it down. So my daily logs sometimes are a page, sometimes there's 3 pages, sometimes there's 4 pages of my daily log, depending on not necessarily how busy my day is. It's depending on how busy my brain is, how active my thoughts are, how active my brain is. And that's where my problem was. I was keeping all this up here. You know what I mean? This is the revelation, is I was keeping it all up here. And by me putting it all into this, at the end of the day, I'm able to cross off things that I've accomplished, migrate things that I want to move over either into the next day or into the future log because I can't take care of it now, you know, or into my monthly log. It all depends on where it needs to go. I organize it all, organize my thoughts. And I do that every night. So I open it up in the morning, see what's going on. I'm constantly engaging with it all day long. So I'm aware of all my goals. I'm aware of all my dreams. And every day I write my 10 goals and my 5 gratitudes. So I'm constantly thinking of the good things. I'm constantly, you know what I mean, reminded of the life that I want to, where I want to be at in 10 years from now. So I want to make decisions accordingly to that. Where before, I used to make New Year's goals and then not even know what they were by February 2nd. I don't even remember what those goals were. So if I don't remember what those goals were in February, how was I going to spend my life pursuing that, or the rest of my year pursuing those dreams that I had in January with all my New Year's resolutions? You know what I mean? They were never in front of me. What you focus on expands. What you give attention to multiplies. And that's a principle in life. You know what I mean? If you give attention to alcohol, you will want more alcohol. If I give attention to KFC, I will want more KFC. If I give attention to dessert, I will want more desserts. Do you know what I mean? Like that's what you do. If you give attention to um, whatever you give attention to. If you give attention to news, all you're gonna want to do is consume news. You know what I mean? Now, are they good for you? That's up to you to decide what vices are good for you. But if they're not, and you want to do something about it, this helps you because you're constantly engaged with it. You're seeing what is help, and that's what's helping me. Hey, Kathy, so glad you're joining. Excited to hear about your bullet journal. Oh, good. I'm so glad. So maybe this video will be helpful to just one. That's fine. But yes, it's so helping me, Kathy. It's so helping me. So yeah, I'm 1 month in. So that's what I'm realizing. And then what you do is so what makes the magic of this is you can create different collections throughout the book. So my most fun is in my daily log. I'm logging everything. I'm writing down my gratitude. I'm writing all my tasks down. I'm writing the things I do. I'm recording the quotes that I want to remember. I'm writing facts. And then I create different categories, different collections they're called. So I'm working on a crochet sweater, and this was my drawing. I had ideas and I'm jotting down notes. You know what I mean? So that's a collection. And then how you keep all this in track is every time you create a collection, you're logging it into your index. So your index tells you all the pages of all your different collections that's causing, you know what I mean? I'm keeping track of everything. And then you thread. So if I'm page 18, I start working on my sweater, right? And then the next time I'm working on my sweater again, I'm on page, where are we at? 50, let's say I'm on page 53. I'm picking up my sweater. So in my index, I'm going to have page 18 and page 53. And then on page 18, I'm going to thread it. I'm going to write 18 and I'm going to write 53. So I know my next place into this. Is 53. So I'm threading these two. So I don't need to flip to my index. I'll know exactly where I've continued onto my collection of this sweater that I'm working on. Make sense? And it's genius. It's so genius because I'm able to, all these ideas, all these things that I have in my head, I'm just putting them out and it's all here. And it's amazing. And what's great about this is I don't have to look for all the different places where you know, now mind you, I have a lot to categorize. I have a lot because there's a lot going on up here. And I've created a lot of new collections, but some collections I don't even pursue, but that's okay because I had it there. And so clearly it was a thought in my head that I wanted to pursue, but I let it go. And the one highlight I just learned about that. Awesome. I'm so glad, Kathy, that you're listening to Writer's Book. It's so awesome. I've re-listened to that thing like 3 times. Like I could fall asleep to that. It calms me for some reason, just knowing that I'm doing something about, I don't know if I have ADHD or not, but I know that startitis is real and I start a lot of things that I don't finish. And writing this down and using this bullet journal, it's helping me stay on track so that I want to finish it, because it's reminding me of the things that I started. Does that make sense? So one of the things, like a tip that I have, so I used to write everything that I needed to write down. I would just do a $sign and it would be for shopping, so that I know at the end of the week when I'm doing my shopping list on Friday, because we always do our shopping on Friday, I write down all the things I'm gonna get. I'll go back and I'll go back and go through what items I wrote down that I needed, right, throughout the week, and I'll put it in my shopping list. But I figured out another way where instead of doing it that way, where I'm constantly like flipping through, you know, flipping through is good because that's how you engage in how you reflect and what your past has been like, how your week was, how your day before was. You're staying engaged with it so you can be intentional the next day, you know what I mean, and be in the present. But I figured out to do shopping, uh, collection. So every time I come up with something that I need to get, I just put it in my shopping collection. And then when I'm doing my shopping list, I'll go to my collection now and I cross off what I already got. I migrate over whatever I didn't do. You know what I mean? So I'm keeping a shopping collection instead. And then therefore, when on my shopping day, when I'm making my shopping list, I refer back to my shopping collection. Does that make sense? The other highlight the revelation that I had. So, I have a full-time job. I have a full-time day job, and VK, my Etsy shop is, and this, is my side business. And I'm not always pursuing my side business like this YouTube channel. This is all a part of my side business to build my brand for the VK shop, right? So I'm not always pursuing it. And I used to feel so guilty, like the Mary, pattern and the Phoebe pattern and, all the things that I want to do, like designing and everything. But sometimes I come home and I just want to watch Netflix with my hubby and enjoy my evening. I just want to get the chores done and just chill, right? So every day I would write down the things that I wanted to do, like finish Mary, film the video, edit the pattern, release the pattern. I would write the same thing over and over every single day because that's what I want to do the next day. But then the next day comes and I do something else, right? So then I migrated over. So I've been doing that for the past 3 weeks until last week when I realized instead of migrating over the same task over and over again about this VK shop that I don't always show up. You know what I mean? I don't always show up. And I used to feel so guilty about it. A part of me still does, but not anymore because I'm engaging and I'm living intentionally. So if I wasn't pursuing it at the moment, then I'm enjoying what I am pursuing. And that is spending time with my hubby in the evenings. You know what I mean? And not wanting to, no, I got to turn on the laptop, honey. You know what I mean? Like by pursuing it that way, I'm enjoying what I've chosen to do in the present instead of worrying about it. And so instead of every morning, I'm like, okay, Mary again, right? My pattern that I'm still not editing, my pattern I still haven't filmed the tutorial video. So instead, what I did was I created a VK task collection. Now, all I have to do is write that down once. Like I have to set up a free Etsy, free shipping on Etsy. I have to edit Mary, like all the tasks that I want to do regarding my shop, including this Facebook Live, all goes in my mastermind, all a part of my brand, all my part of my side business brand. I have it in under that collection, right? So now it's not a part of my daily logging anymore. So whenever I have time and I want to put time into my side business, I will refer back to my VK task collection and see what I can do that moves the needle on my shop because I have it all in that collection. And now it's away from my daily stuff where I'm constantly migrating into pushing it over. And so I'm no longer feeling guilty. I'm no longer, and I'm enjoying the present that I chose to live intentionally to be at. Does that make sense? So that's why I'm like this. I can't speak enough how much I love this bullet journal method so much. And all it is just a structured way to journal so that you can reference it back and use it as a tool. And now my model, who is also bullet journaling, she's not her stress isn't in with her day-to-day operation, like her daily tasks. Like those things aren't important to her, whether she gets one task done or not. Like she's not pursuing like a side business. She has work, and then she goes home and loves on her fiance, right? And those are her two main things. And so her tasks aren't important, but what she does value is her time with the Lord, her scripture time, her Charles Stanley time, her Bible quote time. You know what I mean? And that's what she wants to engage with. So in her bullet journaling, she has collections of her Bible quotes, of her Sunday um, devotions. She's cataloging that, and she's being intentional with that. She's tracking those things. You know what I mean? And that's helping her get closer to the Lord and build her relationship up with the Lord. And it's filling her in a whole new way, where before, without the bullet journal, she would just tell herself, I need to read the Bible more. You know what I mean? Like, I want to read the Bible more. And and then not and then stop right there. Because isn't that what we do? We just have goals. We just say what we want, and then we think it's going to magically happen, and it doesn't. And then we wonder why 5 years from now we're still in the same position as we were 5 years ago when we wanted that dream. You know what I mean? So that's how she's using the bullet journal to help her build her relationship with the Lord. And that is by tracking her scripture time, by writing down and logging and creating collections of the different ministries that she's, you know what I mean, learning, the devotions. And to her, like, it's been an eye-opening experience. And she's using the bullet journal that way, you know. And she's writing down her thoughts, but they're not a lot, you know. So that's like, so those are the three different scenarios that I can share with you guys of how it's helping the three of us who are using it in three totally different ways, trying to manage our life and our brain and our hearts totally differently, but all under one method. And it's really helping the three of us. Like, it's really helping the three of us, and we're really loving it, you know. Good morning, Gayla. So glad you're joining. So yeah, that's what I want to share. So if you guys have any questions, I'm totally shoot them in. I'm happy to answer them for you. If it has to do with anything with any topic, I'm game for whatever. It doesn't have to do about this or scheduling or anything. So if you have any questions, go ahead and share it with me. This is why I set up this 9 to 10 time on my Saturday morning so that I can engage with my fellow makers. You know what I mean? So if you guys, what are you guys working on this week? What are you guys doing? What are you guys pursuing? What issues or problems are coming up with you that you want to gab about online? Come on and share it with me. And I'll be happy to help if I can. Because the other thing, so I was just looking, I was like, I just finished reading Everything is Figure Outable by Marie Forleo. And with getting that book, she had a free immersion course that comes with it, which she's going to charge hundreds of dollars for, which would be totally worth it to basically to use the book, you know, to help you use the book. And so I just went through the course this week. So in the middle of all that, I just finished reading. So I have a reading list that I catalog. I have and if it's a really good book, I'll actually start a collection of the things I've learned from that book. I have a collection on bullet journaling, so I can have, you know, all the highlights of that book. I have a collection on Call to Create, which is another book that I'm reading. So that's a physical book. So that's taking a lot longer. That's not an audio book. That's actually a physical book. So that's taking me a lot longer to get through. But I'm writing down notes when I read it, you know, and get to it. The one thing I do want to have a little bit more intention time is I do want to get some scripture time into here and get some Bible quotes into here. So kind of take a little bit of what my model is doing and incorporating that into my life and being more intentional about that. So I'll schedule those in and plan those in a little bit more accordingly. But right now I'm consumed with like self-development, you know. So Everything is Figure Outable is a book by Marie Forleo that just released like a couple weeks ago. and it's the New York's bestseller, #1. It hit the thing, and it was amazing watching her how she marketed that book too. And all the things that I'm taking, back mental notes on, because as you know, my 2020 goal is to write my first book, is to write that book. Not counting my ebook that I have in my Etsy shop. That was for the Handmade Creative Mastermind when I had that yearly mentorship program. But this is my first real fiction based on true events. The story of how we came to America, how my parents escaped our communist country. So I want to finally do that and get that out of my head and get that out of my, you know what I mean, and release that into the world. And so um, so that's a big goal to take on. So I'm kind of paying attention to how people launch their books and what they're doing, and of course I'm long ways from that, because of course I have to write the book first. So my intention next year is to do that, and that's why I took on this 90-day challenge to take care of myself so I can be physically strong. And then therefore, and by giving up one category of food, it's helping me with my mental strength, to resist things and to do hard things and resist hard things for a better purpose, for a bigger goal. And so when it comes to next year, when I have to set time to write, and I have to set a lot of time to write to write a book, I have to be realistic and be intentional on that. So that's a big goal next year. But I just finished going through that immersion program, and that was good. So I get to write notes. I have notes all over the place and all into my daily log. And so I jot things down all day long, and then um, at the end of the day, I migrate my task. I either move it to the next day, I move into my future log, I cross it off if it's not even important. Sometimes I'll just write things because they're in my head, the ideas that I wanted to do, or the thoughts that I had. I'll write it down, and then at the end of the night, I'm like, I'm not even pursuing this now. This is not even important right now. I have to, I'll cross it off, and that is already a relief, because if I didn't do that, it would just stay sitting in my head, and then it would disappear, and it would come back and haunt me, and it would grow just a little bigger and a little, harder to extract. I'm wondering, what is this thing that's like rooting in me? And it was probably just an unpursued thought, but I didn't get a chance to reflect on it, to decide that it's not of value right now, and so it's a really great feeling to write everything down and then cross it off, and like, it's not even important. And then I feel relief, like I don't have to pursue it or manage it, so that has been those are my for my 1 month with this bullet journal, that I absolutely, it's helping me so much. So let's see what you guys are talking about. Oh, Kathy, you had talked about your health journey a few weeks ago. How is that going? Have you tried intermittent fasting? I have. I kind of do intermittent fasting my own way, because I don't eat after 6 p.m. and the first meal I have is 9:30 in the morning on my first break at work, or sometimes even later if I'm late at work. So sometimes it's 10 o'clock. So I kind of do an interpretation of that intermittent fasting, where I don't eat after 6, and the first meal I have is, so how many hours is that? We're going 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. Wait, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're looking at 15 hours, right? 15 hours before I have my next meal. So I kind of do a form of that in a way where I eat between 9:30 to 6 during the day, and I've been doing that for a long time. Now, I have tried, there are a few days, like when there are times when I've eaten so bad back in the past, like when I've eaten so bad where I'll like crave to like, I'll be like, honey, I think I'm just going to fast for the day, you know? Yeah. So yeah, that's 15 hours. So I guess that is a form of an intermittent fast. I'm not following any certain rules. I'm not like going, I know that they have like schedules. Some intermittent fastings have certain schedules. Like I'm not, but in essence, that's like, I've been doing that, not eating after 6. Now, not to say that I've never eaten after 6, but on the general whole, I could probably count in my hands, the times I can eat after 6 within months, So that is my general eating frame. So I guess there's a form of that. But my health journey is going well, very well. Because of this book, because of this journal, I'm cataloging all the times that I've resisted my the tempting foods, the bad foods, the sugars, the dairies, the creams, like, the times that I've resisted. Like in the morning, I don't have cream in my house. I drink tea, but when I'm at work and they're bringing coffee and danishes and donuts, and I think of that cream and that sugar and those donuts, and I'm just like, I want it, but I write it in my journal that I resisted, and then I feel that same satisfaction because I wrote it down. I feel that same because I'm intentional about it. I'm intentional with my decision to not participate in that. And by doing that, I've like had the same satisfaction, to say, as opposed to going there, eating it, sipping the coffee, drinking all that, and then feeling horrible afterwards. You know what I mean? So with the bullet journal, I'm like feeling horrible up front for 2 seconds by saying, "Oh, I want it so badly," and then I write it down, going, "Wait a minute, it's not aligning with what you want out of your life. It's not helping you with the health goals that you're pursuing. So resist it." And I write it down, and all of a sudden I'm like, this was the better way to go. And I do that a lot. So it's helped me a lot. Engaging with this bullet journal and being intentional with the decisions that I'm making every day is helping a lot. That's another, one of the things I wanted to talk about, maybe in a couple of weeks, when I get back into the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. I've read that book several times, or listened to that book several times, and I love it. And I want to talk about the 7 habits, but my heart just wasn't in it this week to do it. But one of the first habit that is in the book of the 7 habits is to be proactive. And that's a big topic to talk about, is being proactive, because what I wanted to say was, that is my point, Kathy. That is my point. I'm making you want to start my journal. I have started and stopped many years over. Same here, Kathy, same here. I've tried the bullet journal a couple of years ago when I first was starting to feel overwhelmed, when I was doing the Voan knits, when I first started my Etsy shop, when I had my daytime job, my married life, my side business, and my family, which is my mom and, and his parents, like all the things that we're managing, and the people that we want to love on and be responsible for, all the things. Like, it was overwhelming me, and therefore I knew I had to get my schedule under control. I knew I had to manage my time better. I knew bullet journaling was one of the things that came up, but it wasn't successful. That first round, when I tried to do it, was because I was trying to follow other people's templates. Now imagine me like following Julia's, that designer, or my model's templates. They wouldn't suit me. And that's what I was trying to do, was I was following other people's templates. The reason why I've successful in this round is because I read the book and I'm learning it and doing it for me. That's why I'm sharing these ways, because it's helping me. This is my method. You know what I mean? This is what's helping me clear out my head and processing my thoughts and engaging with it all day long. That's working for me. You will find different ways, because different things are important for you, and therefore That's why this method is so great, is because it works for anybody at whatever season in their life, at whatever goals that they want to pursue, in whatever avenues they deem are important to them. This just holds you accountable for it because you are engaging with it. You know what I mean? And 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 it's helped me a lot because I'm not anxious anymore. I'm not stressed. I used to be so anxious, and I'd be like, why are you so anxious? And I don't know. I don't know. It's because I had so much thoughts. I had so much ideas. I had so much things that, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, everything is in my head so much. And then I'm wondering why I can't create. I can't come up with anything. I'm like, I was so blocked. I'm like, why am I rendered catatonic into doing anything? It's because I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed. And when I started putting everything down and categorizing it and engaging with it and repeating it, reinforcing it, deleting, omitting, deleting, omitting, then I started making room. And now my brain is like able to flow so much freely. It's like a detox of the brain. It's like a detox of the head. Definitely. We are not meant. I used to save everything in my head. I never wrote anything down because I kept my running list long. I used to pride in the fact that I was such a smart person that I can do everything in my head. And I realize now that you're doing everything in your head and not getting anything out, not releasing any of it out, not writing it out, not processing it out, not, um, and there's something to be said about your script as opposed to typing, as opposed to, like digitally, you know what I mean, with your phone and keyboard. Like, there's something to be said about literally writing. We are with script. When we write, it's our brain engaging with our hand-eye, and it's doing something totally different to our brains that's helping it so much more. So you need to write things down, right? Um, uh, it's like my brain was having, our brain is not made to be a computer where you open 50 tabs. You know what happens when you have your computer and you have 50 tabs open? Your computer barely moves. You can't download a song. It would take you 20 hours to just download one 3-minute song if you had 50 windows open. That is what we're doing in our brain all day long, of all the things that we're consuming, all the things that we're seeing, and it's getting boggled down there. If you have no way to process it and release it out, it's cramming our mind. And then we wonder where depression comes into play. We're rendered catatonic in pursuing anything, and all we have just enough to do is just to Netflix for 8 hours, because that's the only left brain power that we have left. It's just to consume more digital stuff, more information. You know what I mean? And we can't do anything about it. We can't execute anything on it. And that's why it's so important to get it out of. Once I realized that, that's the person that you're seeing right now. That's the relief. I'm feeling such a relief in my head from that. It's all in there, cramming my mind, making me overwhelmed, ready for change. Yes. That's why I'm sharing this with you guys. That's why I'm speaking so passionately about it. Because I was at that state. I was literally at that state. And I knew that I had to do something the moment I did that Ravelry video. And so many people were like, you need to share your story. You need to write this book. You need to write this book. And this is a book that I've been wanting to write for 5 years, a year before my daddy passed. And my dad's been gone for 4 years now. And I still have this desire to write this book, knowing that I need to write this book. I need to share the story. I need to share their incredible story, right? And in order for me to do that this coming year, something had to change. I couldn't add that on. It would be another epic fail. It would be another epic fail on my part to even try it. It would be me trying to write these 2 patterns all over again, which I'm going to finish this year. I'm going to get Mary and Phoebe released this year so that I can fully pursue the book next year. True fasting is only water and black coffee. Yes, I agree. That is true fasting, which I do, because all I do is drink anything after 6. All I do is drink water. I guess that's my form of intermittent fasting. Literally writing it out physically allows me to get it gone from my brain by putting it on paper. It's, for me, it's a form of removing it. Yes, that's exactly what it is. That's why I said it's a daily, like, it's like a detox of the brain. And that's the relief I'm feeling every day. Like, no lemon tree, no fake. Exactly. Totally agree. That's a great fast phone. Oh, thank you. I've been doing that one. Not eating after 6. I've been doing for a long time, but people make fun of us because John and I are like an old couple. We eat at 4 or 5 o'clock. We eat at 5 o'clock. I get out of work at 4 or something, and so we eat around 5. And so that means after 6, there's nothing left to eat. So whenever we're like, when we make dinner plans, we're always like, we want to go around 4:30, and everybody's like, what are you 60 years old? And we're like, yes. My days of having dinner at 8 o'clock, going out to eat, they're long gone. That was in my 20s. We like skipped our 30s and 40s, went right into the 60s and 70s. Opposed to that, yeah. I don't put any lemon or anything in my tea. And Ellie, what's funny is when I left coffee with the no cream and sugar and went to the tea, it was so hard for me to not want to be tempted with the honey. It was so hard for me to resist the honey, but I didn't. I resisted it. I didn't want to start the honey and the tea habit to replace my coffee, cream and sugar habit, right? So what I did was I just bit the bullet and just drank the tea because I just wanted the herbs. I just wanted the healthy herbs infusing in the water and running through my system. And what's even crazier right now is I'm drinking this detox tea. It's by Tulsi, Tulsi. It's the detox liver and kidney cleansing, daily liver and kidney cleansing tea. And it is so bitter and it is so nasty. It is so nasty of a tea. And I want to put so much honey into it, but I don't. I just force myself to drink this thing, which is what I'm drinking now. I just force myself to drink it. And it is, it's called the Tulsi Cleanse. And what I think it's doing is it's rechanging my taste buds. I'm trying to rechange my taste buds so that I'm not craving the salt and the sugar, like all the fake, the heightened senses of the food. Like I want to enjoy whole foods for what they are, And by doing that, I wake up every morning and I'm drinking a cleansing tea that like changes my taste buds. Because if I go really, really bitter and really, really nasty, then anything I put in my mouth after is going to be delicious. Gayle, you're wondering about Mary and Phoebe. Yes, Mary is nearly done. I just have to finish filming the video and then that'll be ready to release soon. But I have a meeting with Ellie next Sunday, so I'm hoping to finalize that and we can start the promotion process because I'm nearly done. And then right after that, I will be focusing on Phoebe and getting that done, which Allie has been patiently waiting for. And it's funny because I'm starting to realize too with my bullet journaling and engaging in the things I'm recording, the things that I'm actually working on and the things I keep pushing off. And I'm starting to realize that I'm not sure if designing life is really the path that I want to pursue. I'm in that process right now. The reason why I'm even engaging in this thought is because I keep pushing off pattern designing. So if I keep pushing it off, is it really something that I want to pursue? You know what I mean? Intentionally, is it really something I want to pursue? And at this point, I'm not sure because I keep pushing it off. So it's not that I'm predicting it. It's more like me reflecting on what I've been doing. You know what I mean? And being real and facing the reality of the fact that maybe it's not what I'm trying to pursue. I'm not sure. I'm not saying that it isn't or it is. I'm just saying it's making me reflect in that way, which is interesting. You know, we eat at 5 p.m. too. Oh, yes, Gail. Yeah. Yeah, that's what the time we eat. And by 5:30, if we pass 5:30, I'm like an angry monster. I'm like, I'm hungry. But yeah, so no, my health journey is on track. Is on track. And I'm feeling better because of it. And that's pretty much it. Okay. Wow, guys, that's been an hour. Thank you so much, guys, thank you so much for coming on and chatting with me. I'm always wondering if I'm going to spend an hour chatting with myself, but it's every single week the Lord has blessed me with at least one friend, if not multiple friends, coming on here and chatting with me. So I'm so grateful that you guys have taken the time to come and engage with me. Like that is like you guys land on my gratitude list every Monday when I go. I had a great live with amazing creatives. You know what I mean? Amazing women that I got to spend time with. That's on my Monday gratitude every week, or my Sunday gratitude every week, because we spend the day thinking about it, and then on Sunday morning or the next morning, I write my gratitude of the day before, within the 24 hours. So these live sessions have always made it onto my Sunday gratitude going. I had an awesome live with amazing women, and that's with great part to you guys participating and joining me. So thank you so much. I am deeply, deeply moved by it. All right, guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend. I hope you guys have an amazing week. Sarah and I will be live Monday morning, 6 a.m. for a quote. She's already picked it out, and it's a good one. It's a good one. So if you're there pursuing your dreams and see what a life of a solopreneur looks like at 6 a.m. Monday morning to pursue their dreams, that's what it looks like. Come join us. And if you can't be up at that time, watch the replay, because it's always some insightful stuff that we chat about. And so that's become a good time. And those are my two habits. I start my week on Monday morning on YouTube, and I engage with my intentions and share it publicly on live. But what I intend for the week with Sarah and the things that we want to pursue that week. And then I come here on Saturday and I rewind and I reflect and I share with you guys how my week went and what's been going on and what's going on with you guys. How is your week going? And this is what these two habits look like. And it's been such a game changer for me to do this, and I love it. I love it. It's like my little weekly party with friends. And it's so important, especially if you don't have any live friends to do this with. It's great for the internet to do so. Thank you, YouTube. All right. Until next time, God bless, guys. Bye.